What's up, guys? Clutch Kicker Nation here, bringing you some more videos. Nothing new. The race car did well at the race and everything like that. I got Friday's video uploaded, and Saturday hopefully will be uploaded before you've seen this, but if not, I may get this done beforehand because this is going to be a quicker video. So I don't know if you can tell from behind me, but there may be something you're not used to seeing, and I just want to share with you guys something that I did because race car. Yeah. So after taking my car to the track and everything, I realized that I definitely missed it. It rekindled everything that I had lost just due to life getting getting a hold of me and just taking control. And I'm trying to get back into it and get back into drifting more and everything like that. And sadly, I only got the one event, well, the two events this year, and that's all I'm going to be able to do because I'm leaving in like a week and a half. But next year is another story. So I'm trying to prep for next year. I'm trying to go a little more serious, get my car to a new status, get a new engine, go through the suspension, do a whole bunch of stuff that I'm going to do over winter. But in the meantime, I picked up something for next year because I would like to check out a few different tracks, and I'm just over driving my car to the track and hoping not to break it to the point of not being able to drive it home. I did have one little off-roading experience during my track event Friday, which sadly it did damage a little bit of the car, but not enough that I couldn't drive it home. Really, all it did was bend the tension rod bracket, so it's going to need a new tension rod bracket, or at least removed and straightened out. Something I'll take care of over winter, but it just made me think, hey, I could have done something more serious and been broke and stuck at the track, or I could have been miles away from home and really been in a bad situation because I couldn't get the car home. So I went out and traded my little beater Civic for a beater truck. So yeah, I just want to share that with you guys because I now have a truck. It's nothing special, it's nothing fancy, but it will tow a trailer, it will tow a race car, and that's what I wanted. I'm not made of money, so I found a deal where a gentleman was willing to trade my little car and a little bit of cash for a truck, so I jumped on it and picked it up, and I just want to show you guys what I got. Alright, so here you can see in front of me is my new truck. Oh yeah, it's a Chevy. It's nothing fancy, it's rusty, it's a workhorse, and that's all I wanted. It's basically going to allow me to throw engines, throw parts, throw tires. I mean, like, I no longer have to stuff tires in the back of my G35. I no longer have to, figure out how I'm going to get engines home, call people, and if I need to go do something, I can get a trailer. It just opens the possibilities and everything like that. So it is a 2001 Chevy 2500. It's not the heavy duty, but comparing all the specs and stuff, the heavy duty is not really necessary for what I'm going to be doing. And a few changes down the road, I could make it a heavy duty if I really wanted to. Either way, it's not a diesel. Couldn't afford a diesel. It is the 6-liter. So it should be sufficient for everything I need. It's more than some of the people I know that tow with 1500. So should be plenty strong. 6-liter, things like 340 foot-pounds of torque or something like that. So should be capable. It's got 230,000 miles. It is 4-wheel drive. It has 373 gears and everything like that. So not the best, but considering what was available with the amount of money I had and everything like that, I think I got a hell of a deal on a decent truck to start with. This is a starter truck. It's just going to last me a year, maybe two, depending on how it goes, and I will look into getting something nicer. But until then, it will at least get the job done. I looked it up. The 6.0 is reliable. Everybody says they run 400,000 miles. This one's got 232. Other than a couple broken exhaust studs and one hell of an exhaust leak, she runs good. I cruised 2 hours home in this thing. So yeah, I look forward to some truck videos like this one today. So today we're going to tackle one of the main problems that the truck has, and that's a massive exhaust leak. Now, like I said, it does have a couple broken studs or bolts or whatever, which is common with these and other LS type motors. So eventually I will probably tackle that, but I'm not jumping into that now. It's something that I'm not going to worry about at this moment. Come next springtime after winter and everything, I'll probably maybe look into doing it. It's just like, I think there's 2 on one side and 2 on the other side, whatever. But the biggest problem has been the EGR system. So I'll try to show you. Let me grab a light. Alright, so on this vehicle, this is your EGR valve right here. This underneath the intake manifold is the tube that runs to the EGR valve from the intake manifold. And then, I know you probably can't see this, but there's a tube that comes out of it that is meant to run and connect and that's one thing about trucks, it's so tall, it's meant to connect down here. Now that pipe was completely rusted, completely blown out, and was leaking exhaust gas really bad, so I just pinched it and twisted it just to seal it up so I could drive it and everything like that. So what I went and did, is I got on Amazon and was looking for something to fix this issue. I was basically looking for a EGR Delete kit. So I came across this. I had read some things about using some freeze plugs and whatnot, whatever. This was $18, so I went ahead and did it. If you're interested, I will post a link in the description. But basically it comes with the EGR block for the exhaust manifold and the plug for the intake manifold. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and install these parts so that one, when the EGR valve opens, it's not causing a big leak to the intake manifold, causing unmetered or unregistered air to enter, and etc. And also to fix the exhaust leak at the manifold. Now, from reading, the proper way to take care of this is also to have the ECU reprogrammed to delete the function for the EGR. What I'm going to do in the meantime is I'm just going to leave it plugged in, and it can open and close all at once and think it's working when it's not really doing anything. And then later on, or I might just go ahead and unplug it and see if it throws a check engine light. I don't know yet. Sadly, my OBD2, I have a little Bluetooth OBD2 scanner. It will not connect to this vehicle. I'm not totally sure why, but yeah, so I need to get a different one or something. But the check engine light's not on. It does come on when I turn the key on, so the light bulb works. So I know it's not that, but for some reason my scanner just won't communicate with it. But either way, I may unplug it, see if it throws a check engine light, or I may just leave it plugged in, which is probably what I'm going to do today, and everything, just so the computer thinks that the EGR system is still working, even though it's not. I'm not sure if it's registered by any of the O2 sensors or anything like that, if it can actually tell if the EGR system's doing anything. Maybe it can, maybe it can't. I don't know. But that's what we're going to do today, because the exhaust leak has to go. Alright guys, so the first step in the EGR Delete is to remove this 10mm bolt right here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so once you remove that bolt, you pretty much have your tube out there. Alright, so then here's your EGR valve. So we're going to go ahead and unclip that. So here's our EGR valve. So we're going to unclip it. And then we'll go ahead and remove the two 10mm bolts to remove our EGR valve. And our gasket's pretty much shot anyways. Because the idea I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to retain this bracket to hold the EGR valve so I can leave it plugged in until I can test and see if I can go ahead and remove it without causing any ill effects. But this is in the way, so it needs to come off. This is broken, so it doesn't really matter. So pretty much it seems like the logical thing to do is to remove this and break it out the way too. Like so. And man, you can just see the filth inside there from that EGR valve. So basically, with that removed, now I can get easier access to these. I believe they're 15mm, so we're going to remove these two 15mm, remove this whole bracket, and then I'm going to just basically go ahead and take the rest of this out and get it so it looks a little nicer for just leaving the valve on there, so it doesn't have these broken tubes just hanging on there and everything. So let me get a wrench, get these two bolts out, and get this all cleaned up, and then I'll put it back on, and then we'll install our two plugs. Alright guys, there's our bracket all reinstalled. I got the tubes out of there and everything like that, so there's no jagged broken tubes hanging out the bottom of it, which is really all I care about. So after we get the plug-in, we'll install our EGR valve back on there. I'm just going to get a rag and some cleaner and try to just clean out this hole a little bit and everything real quick. So yeah, I'm going to do that. Cleaning this hole out would just kind of ensure that the O-ring is not caught on any gunk and able to seal up properly. Alright, so for this top hole here, you're going to need your plug, which looks like this. It has a recess and an O-ring, and it comes with a new screw, which is Allen keyed. Alright, so here's your piece, and here's your O-ring. So you're just going to put your O-ring onto your plug, basically like so, and then it's going to get installed into here, which I'm going to put a small dab of Vaseline on here just to help lubricate this. Once you get your block off plate installed, you're going to take your screw and screw it in. And for me, this was a 4mm Allen screw. And there, that is pretty much installed. So there's our first block off plate installed. Now to focus on the hard one, if I can get you guys to see here, I'm gonna have to move the camera somewhere else. Alright, so the next part of the puzzle is down here where the EGR tube came out of the exhaust manifold and went into the EGR valve itself. So we got to remove these 10mm bolts, and what do you know, that doesn't fit. Okay, I stand corrected, these are not 10mm bolts. They are probably 11mm bolts. Alright, so I was correct, they are 11mm bolts. So we're going to remove these and hopefully these come out. Oh, sneaky. This is going to be fun. Looks like someone had put bolts and nuts on here, hence probably why I was having difficulty figuring out what size I needed. So that's going to be a little fun, because the bolts I have probably aren't going to work. So yeah, there's that. I have a feeling if I try to remove this heat shield bolt, it's going to break. Funny how they would do that, and yet this tube's in such bad shape. Makes me wonder if they did EGR maintenance at one point or another. And if so, why they didn't replace that tube. Alright, so this is going to be a little difficult and it's kind of awkward with the camera in the way, so I'm going to go ahead and pause here and go ahead and get this tube out of the way and everything and see what exactly they did. But it looks like they put nuts on a different bolt because of some other reason. So yeah, I'm going to get that out and everything, and then I'll bring you guys. Alright guys, so yeah, I did the best I can and got it done. It still leaks a little bit. There's not much I can really do. It really seems to just need a new exhaust manifold because it was damaged, and what they had done is they had drilled out the stud at an angle and everything, and it's just all messed up. It's not flat, so even with the gasket it's not going to seal. But I'll show you what I did, because let me show you this. So this is the plate that came with the kit. It's got nice countersunk holes for screws. It was going to look nice and flat, put a gasket on there, and everything would work good. The problem is that I can't use the screws that came with it. If I used the screws I took out, it wouldn't have worked right because of the countersunk holes. So what I ended up doing is, I'm not sure if you can see it. Let me get a light. So if you look right here, basically what I did is I took a piece of 3/16 flat stock, I drilled some holes in it, put the gasket on there, and bolted it up. We'll see how well that holds up, and if it will hold up, I'm not totally sure. It'll probably blow the gasket out because it's not a very good seal. If that's the case, I may have to figure something out using some high temp RTV or something. But I didn't want to ruin this nice piece of aluminum block off plate thing here, trying to jury rig it on there, so I just made a piece out of some steel I had lying around. So we'll give it a shot. It is quieter, it does seem better, but I also, like with the broken studs, I know it's leaking some there, and I noticed while I was underneath the truck that the flange for the up pipe that goes from the header or exhaust manifold down to the catalytic converter, it looks like it had been re-welded. It's cracked. You know, hey, it's an old truck. These are all things I expected. One step at a time, we'll get her up into towing duty and everything like that. So yeah, but that's my new truck. right there. I'm excited to have it, even if it is just an old beater, rundown work truck. I know it'll tow the car. I know it'll get dirt in the back of it. I know it'll get motors in the back of it, so it'll do the job. We're just going to fix it up one step at a time. But yeah, I'm going to close this video out and everything. I appreciate you watching. And hopefully, if you were interested in trying to do an EGR delete on your LS motor, 4.7, 5.3, 6.0, whatever, it helps you out. Hopefully you don't have problems like I did. But either way, yeah, I appreciate you watching. Thanks. Please like and subscribe, and I will catch you guys later.